All you little Hulksters,
Hold on.
eat your vitamins and...
Hold on. I gotta bury the lead here because I have a Brendan Labatt story. You had Brendan Labatt on for the first hour. We're going right to Hogan. It's up to you.
Well, I was going to go to Hogan, but now you killed it.
Take two coming down with Barney.
Fun.
Sorry, I interrupted.
This is live radio. Look at that shirt. If you're watching the stream,
that's beautiful.
Icon versus Icon. The cage match or Pontiac Silverdome? Which was your favorite?
This is Pontiac. This is the T-shirt from the Pontiac Silverdome, WrestleMania 3, Hogan versus Andre. I got it at the Hulk Hogan's shop on Clearwater Beach, not to be confused with Hulk's Bar, about 4 doors down from Hogan's store, where in the spring of 2022, during baseball spring training, I watched WrestleMania at Hulk's Bar, and the creatures in that place that night, fellas. I mean, it like what you could imagine Hulk's Bar on WrestleMania Sunday would look like in Clearwater Beach, Florida. It checked every box.
There were probably some former wrestlers in there. The terrible Terry Funks of the world. I don't know if you know if he's passed on. Barry Horowitz, Steve Lombardi. What was that?
I think there were a lot of people in that bar who thought they were wrestlers.
But what an icon. The body slam of Andre the Giant in the Silverdome. I remember them coming out in those little carts and how big of a deal Bobby the Brain Heenan with Andre the Giant. And that was the biggest crowd for like an event, a sporting entertainment event, because the Silverdome was massive. If you were up in the nosebleeds and you're looking at it, like that ring would have been so small, but what an event. And then he body slams him to win. And then the leg drop.
So it's so hard to even like start explaining this in 2025 of what the spring of 1987 was. Okay, 93,000 people inside a dome. Yes, that is transferable. But if you wanted to watch that anywhere, WrestleMania 3 became iconic because it was one of the first events that was available on closed circuit. So that meant if you were in Regina or Halifax or whatever, you'd have to go to like a public event, either a movie theater, an arena, and that was the only place that it was available. It was like way before the internet. It was way before social media. It was way before pay-per-view. And that became the event. Like WrestleMania 3, 1 and 2 were, the original and then the weird kind of sequel. WrestleMania 3 put it on the map, and it's because Andre did business and Hogan became as mainstream and hot a superstar in the North American, not just in the North American kind of like sports conscience, but he transcended into pop culture as a pro wrestler. Like he became an actor, like all that stuff.
He was an actor though as a wrestler, right? He's just a very in shape actor.
Then he became Mr. Mom. Then he became Suburban Commando. He was in one of the Rocky movies.
Sharky didn't remember Thunderlips. Sharky didn't remember him as Thunderlips in Rocky 3.
Don't point at me like I did something wrong. I just didn't know.
But he was on like Saturday Night Live. He'd be on those late night talk shows when nobody would be on, like no wrestler would be on late night talk shows. And then Vince McMahon wanted, think about what wrestling had been forever. Up until the late 80s. It was a territory-based area. Yep. Every kind of region had its own thing. Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan made wrestling national and made the WWF at the time, now WWE. So, I don't know. Is the word acceptable? It became very water cooler conversation and became very national very quickly.
It cleaned up the entertainment. It changed the way it was presented and made it a bigger show than it was before. Like you said, it was very regional. They all got in the 15-passenger van and drove to the next city for the next show. This became a bigger entertainment piece and put on better.
The thing that I want to get Arash's take on was we were talking, and I remember many a nights I brought up the fact that if you could, I would look in the TV guide that would come out in the shopper on Tuesday paper to find out if there was going to be a Saturday night main event, because you never knew when it was. There was no structure to life back then. You just looked at something and be like, oh right, there is one. Let's plan a sleepover at Ken Stanton's house. That was what we did. And then we drank peach juice and ate potato chips and watched Saturday Night Main Event. And it was so we had all the wrestlers and all that. Nowadays, Arash, to try my 14-year-old or 12-year-old or any of their friends to be like, hey, sit down and watch an hour of wrestling. Sit down and watch an hour of anything is so difficult. That's why these people that think it's like, hey, we're talking about the CFL, we're gonna get younger fans. How? Kids ain't gonna watch 3 hours of football. Tough break.
So look, I'm in my mid 40s. Okay, this is how ridiculous this all sounds to somebody who's under the age of 30. I go into my brother-in-law's their spare room / office, whatever you want to call it. And
what's his name?
His name's Kyle.
Kyle.
Kyle didn't shed a tear today, by the way, because he was a Macho Man Ultimate Warrior guy. So
Macho Man Randy said.
So I go into the spare room, and you know how some people have bobbleheads and some people have, I don't know, mini helmets or whatever your collection of choice is. He's got a collection of Randy Savage and Warrior. Remember those wrestling dolls? Like the closest thing, we didn't have video games. Those wrestling dolls, he's got a dozen of each guy. I'm like, Kyle, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Here's the story.
Okay.
At my mom's house
in Saskatoon,
Riversdale, Saskatoon, she tells me every other time I'm there, hey, you got to take those suitcases and take them to your house. You got a 5-bedroom house and it's just you. I have every single one of those wrestlers. And the last one that I couldn't get, and I remember this day vividly, and I found it at a garage sale. I'm like in grade 8. Jimmy Superfly Snuka. I could never get him, and I got him. Big John Studd. My buddy's sister stole it from me.
Big John Studd.
Ken's sister stole it.
Why did she steal Big John Studd?
Because he didn't have it. And then all of a sudden, about a month or two later, this is a true story. A month or two later, Ken has a Big John Studd. But it had a pen in the teeth. And I looked at it and I'm like, that's mine. Your sister stole it. No, she didn't. But I think that was the end of our friendship, actually.
You broke up.
I have every single one of those wrestlers. And the thumb wrestlers, although we bought it, we got sucked in. Those were stupid. And yes. I have Hulk Hogan in that, and I think Roddy Piper.
Well, the hot rod Roddy Piper was like him and Hogan. Those were the two main ones that everybody had. You had to have
Piper's Pit. Remember the stuff that used to go on there?
Of course, talk about Snuka. Also, like, remember that whole era? The Honky Tonk Man, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, the Iron Sheik. Like this is. They did storytelling before storytelling was on Vogue.
Big Boss Man, Kamala. Let's shout out Kamala. All you Kamala fans out there. What? Don the Rock Morocco. The British Bulldogs.
Yes.
Pound like that. They were cool.
They were.
They weren't British.
No.
We didn't know any different. Killer Bees, Brutus Beefcake, Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Don't forget
Listen to your childhood come out.
Nikolai Volkov. When he played that anthem, when he rolled in.
But was it the actual Russian anthem?
Oh, yeah. It was so
and the
cool,
stuff
Arash.
Went on, you would be so canceled today in 30 seconds.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Oh.
How about Elizabeth, too? George the Animal Steel, that psycho that used to eat turnbuckles, and then he had the hots for her, and then Macho Man beat the snot out of him. Like, we were sucked into all this. It was...
Now, so people are thinking we're speaking Chinese, right? We're talking about the 80s.
Yeah.
But this is where...
Hey, Mr. Fuji. Shout out Mr. Fuji.
Mr. Fuji, yes. The manager to Yokozuna, who was not Japanese. He was Samoan. So... Like, so Hogan enters the mainstream. He was always the good guy, right? He was always the baby
Yep.
face,
Yep.
say your prayers, eat your vitamins, whatever. Then comes the biggest heel turn in the history of, like, entertainment. Like, Hulk Hogan became the bad guy at Bash at the Beach in 96. NWO. Like,
Yeah.
there was nothing hotter than the New World Order. Remember, those guys were just Nash, Hall, Hogan, those three, and just what that was at a time where the Monday Night Wars were real between Raw and Nitro. It was a time.
So
It was a time.
I remember that, but I wasn't a wrestler. I jokingly said to Sharky, by then I had a girlfriend in my own car and all that. I was out of wrestling, but I
Come
remember.
on. Objection, Your Honor. Objection. I'll take the under.
I remember. All right, 96. No way, Jose Canseco was
okay.
I rolling. Jake the Snake Roberts, we just had a text.
Nice.
Jake the Snake.
Nice.
Yeah.
Talk about things that would be canceled nowadays. You couldn't whip open you couldn't take a python to the ring with 30,000 people.
Speaking of being canceled and whipping things out, how about ravishing Rick Rude?
What a stud. Him and Honky Tonk Man together in the same facility. The Canadian earthquake. That ring. You got a
Yes.
text message in. That rings a
Ricky
bell.
Actually, WrestleMania 3, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and Randy Savage had a hell of a match in that.
Was that when who hit Ricky the Dragon Steamboat with the bell in the neck? And everyone thought he died. They played that on. And then the steel cage matches. Guys are jumping off the steel cage.
Like, that's following like a story and a half. 2 stories.
He fell. Somebody took the bell, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat got her right in the throat. Well, shouldn't have done what he done.
That wasn't in the script.
I'm sure. Jake the Snake Roberts. Let's go, Kelly. Okay, where else can we go on? Are we done with wrestling? Because we'll be here all day.
Yes.
Okay.
Why don't we just end it there? Yeah, we avoided trouble, so let's.
Yeah.
I got Kelly, who's messaged in for 3 days, and I feel bad. He wanted me to, or she wanted me to ask Glenn this question. Willie Jefferson, why hasn't he been fined? I did see that play. I am very confused as well. Willie Jefferson's hit. Do you know anything? Why he hasn't been fined? Have you heard anything there?
I haven't. I will look into it, Kelly, and I will report back next week. You have it. You got my word.
Or text me, and I'll report tomorrow.
Text you and let you know. Yep, I'll find out.
See, Kelly, we're making you listen tomorrow. Hillbilly Jim, TC and medicine hat. Oh, like that was a costume. How are that guy's
Bad News
overalls after
Brown.
3 and 3?
Oh, man. Bad News Brown. Don't forget him.
Hillbilly Jim. He had a wrestler.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, what a nerd I was. Oh, was it fun though? What a ride, man.
What a childhood.
And then the Hulkamania workout set, which I never got.
Oh,
but
of course.
Ken had it. Of course, Ken had it. Sister probably stole it from somebody. That thing was, but you could have sold us anything back then, Arash, because like I said to Sharky, we had nothing else to do. We sat on our parents' shag carpet with our legs crossed, and we watched wrestling, and then we went and played wrestling, and then we just waited for the next wrestling.
If you were to out Ken's sister by name, is it still libelous, or is the statute of limitations snapped 40 years later? I
think it's snapped. I think you're good. Yeah, I think legally you're good.
I don't know. I can't remember.
You can't
We
remember her
got
name?
3 legal experts here after all, so.
No. I don't. Tomorrow, Cody Fajardo is going to throw footballs at Mosaic Stadium and in Regina for the first time since leaving. Did that one surprise you?
It did. And it has nothing to do with what has happened on the field for Edmonton this year. It has to do with how early in the season it is. And this is what I mean by that.
Yep. I called it. Under 6 weeks.
It's still the month of July, but way more than that. And fellas, just bear with me. Let's rewind the clock even further to late last fall. If you were involved in the GM search for the Elks, remember, they cleaned house at the end of last season.
Yep.
If you were in the GM search, if you were in the head coaching search, if you were being talked to about the offensive coordinator position in Edmonton, it was made clear to everybody at that chain of command that Trey Ford was going to be the starter. And that directive came from their new president, Chris Morris. Now, I don't know if that's Chris Morris passing along ownership's wishes. We want to have a Canadian quarterback. We want to sell tickets with a Canadian quarterback. Maybe the owner believed in Ford. Or was it Morris himself, a former player, an offensive lineman, head coach at the University of Alberta? He was hell-bent, believing in Trey Ford, etc. But at every step along the way, from last fall through the off-season, through the spring, through training camp, it's Trey Ford, it's Trey Ford, it's Trey Ford. For this to happen this quickly, that's the wild part, and it makes you kind of start to wonder what Ford's future could or couldn't be. We just don't know. If Fajardo has some success the next couple of weeks, wow. If he doesn't, then what? I find this whole thing fascinating because of kind of the tentacles of the whole thing.
I was never a Trey Ford fan, not at any time, because I don't think he plays quarterback in the system. He plays sandlot quarterback, meaning you're the bottle cap, you're the broken piece of glass, you're the yellow stick, and out you guys go, and I'll try to find one of you while I run around. I don't think he gives them a chance to win every night, right? He's great to come in maybe in relief or if there's an injury or if you want to completely change the way the defense looks at you. But Trey Ford as a starting quarterback does not play quarterback. I'd like to see Trey Ford be their third down guy or their short yardage guy or where they, the running back they put in when they got two quarterbacks in. But I don't think he's going to give you a chance to win every night.
And Sharky, we can talk about the football side of it and what he can and can't do, etc. This is what's fascinating to me. It's not just that Trey Ford was quarterback last year for Edmonton. At the end of the previous season, he was starting games for the Elks. Like, there has been a body of work, and the organization decided this is our franchise quarterback. They paid him to be the franchise quarterback. They were hell-bent the whole way on this being the franchise quarterback. Not that McLeod Bethel Thompson is much right now at this stage of his career. They traded McLeod Bethel Thompson away, remember, in the offseason to Montreal for Fajardo. And on his way out, MBT was like, this isn't the right call. He's not the guy. So they put all their chips in the middle of the table with one card up and one card face down, but they were that convinced that either the dealer was going to bust or somehow this hand was going to win.
You make me want to play blackjack for starters. But text line, Dion earlier, even though I'm excited that my Eskimos benched Ford, I don't see how the Riders' offense doesn't roll over the Eskimos' terrible D. And then he says, Ford should never start again for the Eskimos unless injury. There isn't one team in the CFL that Ford would be a starter from season opener. Eskimos fan.
This is why I push back on this. Okay? Two reasons. The easy one is, Trey Ford just a couple of weeks ago had a perfect quarterback rating. Okay, so let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's one. But here's the other one. What was the last part of that sentence, Barney? Just reread that if it's still in front of you.
There isn't one team in the CFL that Ford would be the starter from season opener.
I would suggest that Ottawa could have been an option this year. I would suggest with Chad Kelly out that Toronto could have been an option this year. I would say right now there's another, like in Montreal today, not the start of the season. Davis Alexander was obviously the guy. Right now, would you rather, honestly, Trey Ford or McLeod Bethel Thompson if you're the Alouettes right now?
I'm taking McLeod Bethel Thompson to beat the Stamps tonight.
Yeah, I'm betting against that, by the way. Yeah.
Not a big bet, just to keep it interesting as I look through all my wrestling posters.
That's right. As you say your prayers and eat your vitamins.
Oh, brother. I texted Dusty to see how many Hulk Hogan references he can plop into the broadcast tonight. So see if he's up for the challenge. It'll be interesting. Hey, Winnipeg goes into Toronto, rematch of last year's Grey Cup, which fast forward a few weeks and it feels like anything but 2 championship contenders.
And I'm telling you, Winnipeg doesn't look right. I give them more of a chance just because their roster's better and the fact that they have 3 wins and Toronto has 1. I heard Chad Kelly practice this week. Chad Kelly is nowhere near playing. Nowhere near game ready. He's just not. Then you look around the Argos roster, you lose your best offensive lineman to the scooter accident. The cupboard's bare when it comes to real talent there. Like, the moral of the story is win when you can, because you never know when it's all going to come apart.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, like I've been saying this, Barney, now for 2-3 weeks now. There is just as good a chance that we do not see Chad Kelly the rest of the season as there is we get to see him at some point here over the next few weeks.
You have been saying that. Let's say, quickly, do you want to say anything on the Hockey Canada verdicts and the fallout today?
I saw this from the Secretary of State for Sport for Canada, Adam Van Couverden. Van Couverden won gold for Canada in the kayak at the Olympics. And part of his message was this. He said, "We take note of the independent court's decision today." Van Couverden wrote, "This is a critical moment in sport. The case has sparked a national conversation about safe sport and the problematic culture in men's hockey." Van Couverden went on to say, "It is the voices of women and the courage and bravery it takes to come forward that have led to the changes in toxic culture that we are seeing." And he goes on to say, a few more things. I think there's a lot there for people to digest, no matter what the court's ruling was today.
Colson's got the question hat on.
Yep, he's got his question cap on. He's ready.
No, I'm just ready for when you're wrapping things up. I found something about the bell and the dragon.
I've got a text message. It was Randy Macho Man Savage.
It was.
Who hit Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in the throat. And Perry, I just love the listeners when they start firing in texts. Hot take Perry. He goes, "Shank, don't forget about Tatanka."
Oh.
Classic good guy, bad guy, depending on who he faced. I remember Tatanka. Who didn't want a red mohawk running around elementary school?
No chance that character exists in 2025.
No way. Yeah. And then Ron in Regina found a Hulk Hogan workout set. Deluxe Hulkamania workout set, vintage, blah, blah, blah. I think he wanted to send a picture, but it didn't come through. Oh, guess how much it is?
I don't know. $199.
There's no way I would have thought this. Arash, guess?
Like in today money or in that day's
today money? It's on SD, whatever that is. My wife probably knows.
If it was posted before today, $12.99.
$14.93.81.
Oh my God, $1,500
Canadian.
Wow.
Wow is right.
Is that your wager on McLeod Bethel Thompson tonight, by the way?
No.
No.
But I'm curious because we had Glenn on. I forget the fellow's name from Montreal that will be up against Damien Alford to see if he can shut him down. Because there's game tape now. 2 games, he's torched teams. It's like, okay, this is what his tendencies are. This is what he does. We're going to put you here. We're going to double him here. The chess game that is football. Love it. I'm curious. It's a very interesting watch. Now, for my kids to sit down and watch the whole game, never going to happen tonight. Me, on the other hand, yep.
Curtis, can you put the camera on Sharky real quick, please?
What's the question?
Sharky, he's doing that thing where he's trying to convince himself of his wager.
Yeah.
That's what's going on right now. Just in case you were wondering.
I live through it all the time. You're not here
So
every
you're
day.
saying there's a chance. What happened to all that 1 in a million talk?
Yeah,
huh?
it happens here all the time. All the
So
time.
now we know when you're here for the dinner with Bruce Boudreau, August 28th, where there's still a table available at the Royal Regina, we can talk some wrestling. 80s wrestling only, because once I got
Bruce
to high
loves
school, I was out.
Bruce is going to know
Bruce
it.
loves it.
Yeah, you got to think he's got the collection of figurines as well. I'll guarantee you.
Bruce actually had the biggest comic book collection you could ever imagine back in the day.
Really?
So Bruce just wasn't in Slapshot. He lived Slapshot. Took his comic books on the road.
Yeah.
That's right.
We're on the road. I'm staying at Mom's Thursday night, and I so want to take a picture and show you guys the wrestlers, but I know as soon as I go into that closet and pull out the suitcases, I'm going to get that. You need to take those with you.
You should.
No.
Yes.
I have no room for them. Then my wife will literally they'll be on the front step, and the Diabetes Association, whoever picks up stuff, will take them away.
I was going to say, at least Mom kept them, because I had a lot of trading cards that my parents discarded during a move. And,
bad parents. Bad mom and dad.
That purple Macho Man t-shirt, which I know you can buy these days out there, that was probably one of the t-shirts in my life that I wore out. Like, just wore it so much.
I know what I'm getting you for Christmas.
Yeah. That was a
You
hint.
can wear it to the Christmas party with a blazer, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
What a great time to be alive back then.
Arash, do the Jays make a move for more pitching or more bats?
Pitching.
Pitching?
Look, at some point, presumably it's the 24th of July, you're going to get Anthony Santander back, a power hitter that they gave $90, $100 million to. At some point, Dalton Varsho is going to come back. They're getting real production, Sharky, at the plate from under-the-radar dudes.
Who's Barger before this year? Yeah.
That's it. Bam Bam Barger, right?
He was the Saturday morning wrestler that would face Hulk Hogan.
I just don't think that you can count on Max Scherzer right now through the end of September, and I think you need to add another bullpen piece. So I think it's arms before bats with a week to go before the deadline.
Like it.
All right, buddy. Let's catch up next week. That was a long one. Thanks for the wrestling talk.
You got it. See you, boys.
Right on.
Okay.